I'm a retired math professor. A real honor to be able to speak to you today. I want to speak to you about the power of believing you can improve. And 6 to 8 minutes. Okay. Growing up in the 60s, there were certain areas where I didn't believe I could improve. I was no good at writing or public speaking. Teachers and parents told me I simply didn't have the aptitude for these subjects. And this was reinforced by my grades and my college board exams. Later in college, I failed Subject A, the very beginning writing course, and I had to repeat it in the summer. So I concluded that I didn't have what it takes to excel in writing or speaking. At the time, I and others believed that the brain was a fixed object. Some people were talented in a given area, others should work in other fields. So actually, that was a turning point. I chose to study mathematics, a field where I could avoid public speaking and writing. But in the 80s, major breakthroughs happened in neuroscience, and they've changed what people think or believe about learning. They showed that brain power is not fixed. One could develop more intelligence. Intelligence could be measured by the complexity of your neural network. So at that time, they learned how to scan the brain, and they could see it. And when someone's working to develop new skills, neuronal networks are firing and developing more complicated ways of communicating in the brain. And actually, the more one works at it, the more neural networks are being built and the more intelligent one can become. This idea is now known as neuroplasticity. And I know that by giving this speech right now, this very instant, I'm excited. My brain is firing and developing new neuronal networks. In the 60s, I didn't believe I had what it takes to improve my speaking ability. But now, by giving this particular talk, I am becoming more intelligent in the area of public speaking. Stanford social psychologist Carol Dweck has written a book and studied these ideas. She's come up with the idea of mindset, and this is her book, published in 2006. A mindset is a belief system. What people believe about their abilities largely determines the kinds of actions they will take. People who believe in a fixed mindset believe they're endowed with a fixed amount of brain power, and that's all there is. People who have a growth mindset believe that their intelligence is flexible and can be developed by working at it. And what I've told you about neuroscience shows that anyone who has this growth mindset can develop new neuronal networks, and by doing that, they can become more intelligent. So if we can get people to believe in the growth mindset, they will be able to conquer many obstacles that they previously thought they couldn't do. I want to share with you some examples of how this new information from neuroscience is being used to revolutionize education. Carol Dweck has data on middle school students who take their very first algebra class. So abstract algebra is a turning point. When you enter 7th grade, you don't do well in abstract algebra. Many students decide they're just not cut out to do mathematics. She also has data on college students who take organic chemistry. If you've been through college and you had any aspirations of becoming a doctor, you realize your grade in organic chemistry is a deal breaker. If you don't do well on that, you often decide, I can't become a doctor. And of course, there's women who decide to major in computer science. Often they're torn by feelings that they don't have what it takes to make it. She has data on all these different groups and has shown that students who have the growth mindset totally outperform students who do have the fixed mindset. Joe Bowler, a math education professor at Stanford University, has decided that she needs to teach teachers how to instill the growth mindset in their students. In a Chicago school district, they no longer have failing grades in subjects. Instead, if you haven't mastered materials in a given subject, they are given the grade of not yet. So that means that maybe someday they will work at it more and eventually master that subject. In Seattle, the school district with the very worst performance standards is a district of mainly Native American students. Stephanie Freiberg, a Native American psychologist and a student of Carol Dweck, went to that district and explained to teachers and students that if you get students to work harder at school, this will help the students to install cultural values of being Native American. This inspired the teachers and the parents to transfer this to the students. And 2 years after they were the very worst performing school district in Seattle, they are now the highest performing school district in Seattle. In closing, I challenge you to think about what areas do you have the fixed mindset and what areas do you have the growth mindset? We all have a spectrum of different areas where we have these things. And how powerful would it be for you to believe you can improve? Mr. Toastmaster.